For one agonizing instant, she couldn't place it, couldn't quite recognize what it was, what it meant, until she finally moved into Connor's room and knew they weren't alone. It was then that the icy pinprick started up her arms, turning her spine to jelly, raising the hair on the back of her neck. "Connor," she whispered. Something moved deep in the shadows, something that wasn't Connor, something that seemed to have stepped out of the wall and now waited to see what they would do. As Martha stood there blind and helpless, the bodies recovered themselves from the first floor and began to stumble up the stairs, and one of them shouted her name. In that instant, the shadows gathered and sprang. Martha heard a groan, and there was a soft hiss of metal slashing darkness as something fell beside her. Connor's hand came out of nowhere and closed around her. "Come on, Martha, hurry!" She let him pull her like a rag doll. She heard his hand frantically groping along the wall. Wet fingers slid over her ankle. Shrieking, she pitched forward into sudden nothingness, crumpling down into a tiny space of darkness. She sensed that they were in a passageway of some kind, but she couldn't figure out how they'd gotten there. Martha could feel Connor's body pressed against her, hear his hoarse struggle to breathe, and then she couldn't hear the wall sliding shut, and hands beating on the other side. And Connor's urgent whisper, "We've got to run, Martha, we're trapped behind the wall." The space was so tight, they could barely fit side by side. Somehow Connor squeezed ahead of her, and as she heard him slip and throw out his arms, she realized they were on a narrow stairwell. Connor's fingers found hers, closed and tightened, pulled her down, terrified. Martha slid her way behind him, gasping as spider webs clung to her face.